That looks good to everyone. Okay, awesome. Well, you saw a little bit about my bio. I'm a what they call a double Longhorn. I did both my undergrad and law school at UT Austin, and for law school, my 20-year reunion is this year. And all I have to say about that is that time really flies. I like to describe myself as a lifelong legal aid lawyer. I have very much loved this career and been fortunate at TRLA to have a number of positions as a lawyer and a case handler, as a manager, as a division leader of our family group. And now, in my role as the deputy civil director, I get to use all of that ground up experience to support our operations and systems. And I really enjoy doing that. Um, what I want to talk to you about today, oh, that is not, we skipped one. I skipped one. What I want to talk to you about today is to get a good look at the civil legal aid agency serving Williamson County. The demand for legal services and free legal services at that is very high. I want to talk about some of our big projects that we have that we're trying to make services and legal information more accessible. I want to talk about the civil legal issues that our applicants most frequently are seeking help with, some of our statewide trends responding to that demand for legal assistance, and some of our initiatives that we think are really exciting. I hope that this presentation will give you some helpful information on how to serve your clients, and you'll know how to make a referral should you need to do that. You'll hear me say TRLA or TRALA. Internally, we call ourselves TRALA, and I say that's what our friends call us, so I invite you to be our friends and call us TRALA. I do love questions and to have a discussion, so please feel free to ask me questions throughout. I think I'm going to do okay on time, and I also hope to reserve some time at the end for discussion and questions. So let's get started. TRLA is one of the nation's largest legal aid organizations and the largest one in Texas. The legal aid organizations are the organizations that provide free legal services in civil cases. There are three big legal aids in Texas, and each of us serves a particular geographic service area of the state. The other two are Lone Star Legal Aid and Legal Aid of Northwest Texas. TRALA is a nonprofit organization. We provide free, high quality civil legal services and related education to low income and disadvantaged Texans throughout 68 counties of South, West, and Central Texas. As the largest provider of legal services in Texas, and the second largest in the nation is what we are. Our mission is to promote dignity, self-sufficiency, stability, and safety for low-income Texans. It's our vision that every Texan, regardless of their economic advantage, has access to justice. Our legal services are structured around broad groups reflecting a range of legal problems confronting the low-income communities, domestic violence and family law, public benefits, housing, economic and social justice, labor and employment, and community preservation and empowerment, and also individual rights. Within these groups, we have 45 practice areas, and I'm going to talk about those in this presentation. In addition to our casework, we conduct outreach programs, workshops, and training sessions, and we also have pro bono recruitment efforts throughout our service area. Um, for our practice teams, we have practice areas and dedicated teams to address those specific needs, but beyond that, we also handle complex, high-impact cases in state and federal courts, and we are very proud of our efforts, which lead to changing law and policies, which can have a greater impact for more people in the future. TRLA service area, TRALA service area, here's in yellow. This map gives you an idea of our scope and how big it is. We have those 68 counties across West, Central, and South Texas, all the way to the Coastal Bend region, El Paso to Austin to Victoria, and the entire Texas-Mexico border. We are the size of Colorado. Our service area is the size of Colorado. As you see from the map, Williamson County is our most north for the Central Texas area. If we go just a little further north, we start getting into territories of other legal aids. For example, Bell County is Lone Star Legal Aids. This says we have 17 offices across Texas and one in Tennessee, but we actually have 18. We opened one recently in Kerrville, following the July 4th flooding disaster in the Hill Country. We are also big in terms of the number of staff that we employ, which is about 405 total staff. At this, we usually run between 160 to 175 attorneys, and right now we're about in between that number. Trolla's roots. Trolla's founded to represent migrant farm workers, and we still do in Texas and also in other southern states. And most of that work is based out of our office in Nashville. Trolla, through providing advice and direct representation, serves usually around 20,000 people per year, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. It is estimated that more than 2.6 million people in our service area are eligible for our services, which means that for every one lawyer we have, there are 10,000 potential clients. So demand is very high, and there are still many people who cannot get access to civil legal representation, even if they're financially eligible. We are not like court-appointed attorneys where there's a right to counsel and our attorneys end up assigned to a case. What we do is we take applications and we have to consider those applications for services in connection with the priorities set by our board and our capacity. Even if we cannot fully represent everyone, we do try to provide each person with something useful in their case. Advice, help filing a response in court, a referral to a different agency, even if we can't take their case for full representation. And we are very aware and always working to improve these numbers. How are we able to do this work? We have funding from primarily from the Legal Services Corporation, which is a federal agency that provides financial resources to legal aids throughout the nation, and by the Texas Access to Justice Foundation. We also receive smaller grants from various federal, state, and local agencies, foundations, and corporations. For a person to receive services from us, they must be eligible for our services, and we some of those are identified by statute examples. We represent U.S. citizens or people who have lawful status, and others identified by statute. Some of those are who are not U.S. citizens or green card holders, might include refugees and asylees, victims of crimes and abuse, people with specific relationships, like spouses, parents, or children of U.S. citizens with pending or approved applications, and some special groups. For our services, clients must be financially eligible. Our grant thresholds typically allow us to serve households with incomes between 125% to 200% of the federal poverty guidelines. And it must be an eligible case type. For example, no, we don't do criminal cases. We have 45 practice areas, which is pretty significant. We organize these practice areas into groups, and then they're what I'd call our main pillars or our legal divisions. I want to talk a little bit about those divisions. We have a group called the Community Preservation and Empowerment Group. They handle legal areas that combat systemic inequity, discrimination, and segregation through some specific legal areas like civil rights, consumer protection, disaster benefits and response, environmental justice, and also supporting small business and nonprofits. We have an economic and social justice group. They advocate for low-income and social welfare, like disability rights, education and special education, guardianship, juvenile justice, Native American rights, re-entry after leaving incarceration, and wills and estates. Our domestic violence and family law group provides assistance in divorce and custody cases and helps victims of family violence, sexual assault, and stalking to obtain protective orders. Family law is one of the highest volume in terms of applications for assistance that we receive. At TRLA, we prioritize cases for survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault because we are trying to represent the most vulnerable people. We partner with shelters to receive intakes from them directly. This is a unique program. I think it's very unique. Our family lawyers are domestic violence experts, and overall, that's kind of rare. Trellis Housing Group protects rights of low-income tenants and homeowners with the aim of keeping them in their homes and reducing the number of people forced into homelessness. Attorneys in this group represent clients dealing with multiple legal and administrative matters, and they work throughout different aspects of housing law, including colonias and real estate, fair housing, federally subsidized housing, home foreclosure prevention, homeless prevention, manufactured homes, private landlord-tenant issues, real property such as tax and foreclosures. Um, we also have an immigration group. This group focuses on a varied set of needs with a goal of securing immigration relief for individuals eligible for lawful status or U.S. citizenship. They prioritize improving economic stability, physical safety, and overall well-being. We also have a lot of cases here for survivors of abuse and violent crime. Our labor and employment group represents clients in matters relating to labor, employment, and farm worker law and addresses problems and issues within the federal small farmers program. Attorneys in this group work on employment law, farm worker law, and through our Southern Migrant Legal Services program. Our public benefits group helps families and individuals maintain the income, nutritional, and medical assistance to which they're entitled under state and federal law. In this group, we have advocates working on public benefits law, health law team for clients who have wrongfully been denied medical benefits and medical legal partnerships. Those are coordinated efforts between our law firm and medical providers with the mission of providing holistic services, especially when there's a medical connection, the legal problem is connected to a medical condition. Under the public benefits team, we also have advocacy for the homeless team. It works for those who are living in homelessness and helping them access benefits and services to transition into a more stable life. Our Veterans Advocacy Project also comes underneath our public benefits umbrella. We work with veterans, spouses and widows or widowers of veterans, dependent children of veterans to obtain benefits and services that they're entitled to, as well as legal representation in non-criminal matters. I thought you might be interested to see what our top 10 requests for Williamson County were in 2025. And in general, our top applications service area wide are for housing and family law. So no surprises there. And then followed by wills and estates and consumer matters. So we had 510 intakes total in Williamson County for 2025. We had 153 in landlord tenant housing, 89 for family law, 37 in consumer protection, 34 for employment, 34 in federally subsidized housing, 25 for immigration matters, 17 state and federal public benefits, wills and estates, 14, torts and civil litigation, 12, and then housing again with foreclosure prevention with 11. Our our time to analyze our numbers and reporting is now. So these are our case data points from 2024. And I thought you might be interested to know that 71% cases in 2024 were on behalf of women. 47% had domestic violence as a factor. We did 20% of our cases on behalf of people who were 60 or older, and 7% of our cases were done on behalf of veterans and their families. I want to talk about our special projects. Many of these projects are the result of an attorney or our attorneys working in these areas and seeing a need and a space to develop something unique and client focused to address that need. And I want to just pick out a few of them. Some of them I have slides for, and we'll talk about those more in depth. But our Austin Tenants Council project is a tenant and landlord advocacy and counseling. They assist with housing repairs, fair housing investigation, and providing self-help packets to avoid eviction and referrals for legal services. Our BASTA is education and support to combat substandard housing and evictions. LASA, the Legal Aid for Survivors of Sexual Assault, This is a dedicated team of attorneys for a significant project of ours. Our goal here is to provide survivors of sexual assault a wide range of legal services. We offer a separate LASA intake line, and we coordinate closely with other providers throughout the state. Our main hotline gives the option to get to that LASA line, so there's definitely if there's not a bunch of numbers to remember, you can get to it from our main intake line. Our medical legal partnerships, we have an MLP in San Antonio right now where our satellite office is embedded inside a hospital, and we can take referrals from providers when it is identified that there's a connection between someone's health and their legal problem. Even more projects. Our disaster response team is a specialized unit that works to help people recover from natural disasters in our service area, like flooding and hurricanes. Our current team manager has worked more than 10 federally declared disasters, and she mentors other legal aid programs on disaster response. Following those catastrophic July 4th floods with the flooding in the Texas Hill Country and in Williamson County, we launched a response to provide free legal assistance to low-income individuals and families affected by that disaster. What we focused on was bridging the gap between immediate disaster relief and long-term recovery by addressing those legal obstacles that hinder the survivors from rebuilding their lives. I want to emphasize that we are still available to help disaster survivors, and we are planning for clinics in the Williamson County area and would love to talk with anybody that is interested in that and may want to partner with us, or if you may know somebody that might be interested in that, please feel free to reach out. Our disaster response included a dedicated legal hotline and direct access. So immediately following the floods, we established a toll-free disaster legal assistance hotline specifically for victims to access services. This allowed people to get advice on housing issues, insurance claims, and benefits without needing to go to a physical office. After that, we had a presence at disaster recovery centers. We actively coordinated with emergency management to provide in-person assistance at the disaster recovery centers, or DRCs, once they opened in those affected areas. We were providing on-site legal counsel for survivors navigating those FEMA applications, insurance disputes, and other immediate needs. The DRCs are not open at this time, but we still have the dedicated hotline. Common legal problems following a disaster, FEMA benefits, assisting with applications, appeals, and navigating denial letters, insurance claims, helping with disputes regarding property, medical, or life insurance, contractor fraud, housing stability, and document replacement, helping people replace those critical documents that may have been lost, like wills, social security cards, birth certificates, or driver's licenses. I think there might be a question. I have a lot of screens going on here, so let me see if that is for me.
Yeah, Jackie, that was me. I was just curious what would be the best way to contact Trala if we wanted to share with organizations who are interested in a partnership
Excellent.
around the disaster.
I would love to connect you with our team manager who is
Okay,
just super, super knowledgeable. Her name is Brittany Gomez, and I will actually put her information in our chat, and
perfect.
you can always copy me on that. But she is great and wonderful and would love to talk with people on the ground. I will definitely add that here at the end.
Awesome.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the
Yeah, yeah.
question. All right. I want to talk about Southern Migrant Legal Services. We represent migrant and seasonal farm workers across 6 southern states: Alabama, Arkansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee. This project is based in Nashville and focuses on employment issues, including wage theft, retaliation, and unsafe working conditions. The shelter project is one of my favorites because this is how I started at TRLA. Research shows that access to legal representation is one of the most important things that someone fleeing domestic violence needs. And our shelter project pairs attorneys with domestic violence and sexual assault centers in our service area so they have an open line to our law firm and they can directly refer and intake cases to get prompt access to legal advice and services. And we also work to build and keep strong relationships with those partners. We do an annual cross-training conference, which is excellent in terms of the programming, and we bring all of those partners and TRLA staff together, and it has expanded to other legal aids and organizations joining us there. Our Veterans Advocacy Project serves low-income veterans, their spouses, widows, and current service members in Texas. We help clients secure benefits, fight eviction, and resolve non-criminal cases like wills and consumer protection and VA claims. All right, a couple of the projects that I want to highlight in particular, one of them is our Foster Youth Justice Project. This is an incredible, unique project of ours that operates statewide. It's not just within our service area. This project is one of those that was built by our attorneys who were seeing the many needs and barriers that former foster youth were encountering. They take cases, they do training, they support partner organizations. If you'd like to see more about the Foster Youth Justice Project in particular, our website here is excellent. It is texasfosteryouth.org. So much good stuff there. Common issues that come up for this project: juvenile and criminal records and sealing, name changes or correction, citizenship and immigration issues, educational rights, sibling contact and access, CPS defense, and benefits and healthcare issues. The binational project, it's a binational family violence project. This assists low-income survivors of family violence in cases involving international parental-child abduction. Also a very unique project. Perpetrators of family violence often rely on control tactics to cause harm to intimate partners. Sometimes they threaten their partners with taking their children away and say they'll prevent the victim from ever seeing them again. And we have had cases where when the victim succeeds in leaving the relationship, sometimes the abuser makes good on the threats of taking the children away and sometimes to another country. In other circumstances, victims flee their abusers and manage to cross borders with their children in their bid for safety. And these are the two case types that this project focuses on. These cases are complex cases that can last for years, and our project helps survivors navigate the complicated landscape in these child custody cases where it is made more difficult or hard to enforce due to those international boundaries. We are so fortunate to have experts on our small team that are sought out for mentoring and to speak nationally. We got some great news last week for this project. This team got children back with the help of U.S. Marshals after they had been gone for 6 years. So they really hang on to those cases and really try to make a difference. It's an excellent and unique project that we have here, and I love to talk about that. Our opioid use disorder, or OUD project, is relatively new. It was started in 2024. We provide legal services to people and their families who have been affected by opioid use disorder. The case types that we saw the most here were family law matters, Class C misdemeanors, and Class C warrant cleaning up, record erasure, filing for Social Security benefits, and ID recovery. You're probably thinking, well, you said you didn't do criminal cases. How are you doing Class C misdemeanors? We are able to do those. That's an exception. Those offenses don't carry any jail time, which is why that is an exception. We can assist in cleaning up those traffic ticket warrant or Class C warrants. And a lot of the clients that we're encountering in this project may have had matters that they couldn't resolve for many, many years. I think I remember one story where it was 20 years where there was a warrant that had gone unresolved until we got involved. So we look for grant opportunities to continue doing this work and meeting clients where they are. We have two main places where this work has been high volume and really successful in the partnership. That's in El Paso and in San Antonio, where we are offering regular in-person intake at some harm reduction facilities, which include Corazon Ministries, that's in San Antonio, and Punto de Partida in El Paso. Just going to check the chat. Can nonprofits get involved in the projects as well? Um, I mean, I think that if there's a particular project that you're interested in supporting or following, I will be happy to connect you to the person who directs that work, usually our team manager, and there may be some opportunities. There's always opportunities if you want to refer us volunteers. We take volunteers of all kinds. Sometimes we get paralegal volunteers, undergraduate volunteers, and student volunteers, law student volunteers. And if we're doing clinics or outreach, getting the word out, I think there's several ways that we can get involved. So let's talk more about that. And if there's anything in particular that you'd like to know about, I think there's ways to follow them and support them and get further involved, or even partner with us if you see a need that legal that lawyers and legal information could be beneficial to include. All right. So there are a series of statewide projects where the legal aids are now all working together, but each spearheading a different big project. This one is the one where TRALA is the lead agency. It's early intervention for families when there is a Child Protective Services investigation. And we call that our Family Defense Project or the Family Early Defense Network. And the purpose of this is to assist parents who, when they are in a place where they're not otherwise entitled to a court-appointed attorney after there's an intervention from DFPS. And at those stages of investigation or family-based safety services, FBSS cases, orders and aid to investigate, or when there's been a finding that needs to be reviewed, or even in post-termination reinstatement of parental rights in certain cases. So at this moment where somebody is not entitled to a court-appointed attorney, that can be a critical moment where having legal advice can be really impactful. When there's an investigation, a person is not entitled to a court-appointed attorney like they would be if a case was filed. Um, for this project, we are looking for referrals. The guidelines for this project, somebody would be at 125% or below with a current CPS investigation. It could be an FBSS or an administrative review type case. I would recommend calling the hotline, the Family Early Defense Network hotline right there. That's a way to get advice fast, and then it can be referred through our network of partners for additional services. So that's just getting off the ground. Really exciting. We have a great team manager um, and a great network. We're working with the Texas Legal Services Center and the other legal aids on this as well. Another one of our big statewide projects, this one is led by Disability Rights, and the three big legal aids are involved as well: Lone Star, Lanwit, TRALA, Texas Legal Services Center. What we're doing here is piloting trainings for lay advocates who want to be trained to be able to provide limited scope services and legal information to clients and have support in doing that. We are working on developing those trainings, which will be super high quality, super comprehensive in certain areas of the law. Those are consumer debt, credit repair, housing, public benefits, and special education. It's currently in the piloting phase for developing those trainings and working on recruiting advocates at this time. And they're rolling out each training by topic. And this is also one of those, if you'd like some more information, please email me and we can talk more about how you can follow along with what's going on with the Community Justice Worker Project. The third statewide collaboration is that we're involved in is called the Statewide Expunction Project, or Clear Path Texas, which is how it's been branded. This has to do with criminal record clearing. Criminal records are public forever. The only way to make them not public is to have a case expunged or to get an order of non-disclosure to where only law enforcement can access that. Not all cases are eligible for one of these remedies, but I'm sure all of us can imagine how a criminal record can affect housing, employment, education, public benefits, and even where somebody could volunteer. And they do not automatically fall off over time. Private entities can obtain criminal history information and sell it for a fee, might post some of that information on websites, and there's nothing in Texas law that prevents employers or landlords from asking about a criminal history. In expungement, it is an erasure of that record. Inaccurate information can also appear on records, and that might be able to be fixed. Um, we are looking for referrals as well. This is one of those. This is funded by the Texas Access to Justice Foundation, which has us have a low income cap here, about 125% of the federal poverty guidelines. In my earlier slide, I mentioned that our grants usually let us assist people who are between 125% but below 200%. Even if somebody doesn't qualify for the specific grant funding, they may still be able to receive services up to the 200%. We have different grants and we can configure those. So it's not doesn't mean if somebody's over that guideline that they can't get services or advice. I hope that's not too confusing. This particular grant is tied to a certain income, but we do have funding to help people above and under the 200%. So this is criminal record clearing for eligible adult criminal records, um, not juvenile. The best way to get involved or to apply with TRLA is to call our main hotline. These are our two hotline numbers. We really try to make sure that there is one place to find us, that you don't have to have memorized all of these numbers or save all of these different numbers to be able to get help. Our hotline, like I mentioned, we have specific lines like the LAHSA line. You should be able to get to that from our direct hotline. Any case type, regardless if it's one of the ones where we do have a specialized line for, like foster youth, can still go through our main hotline. So really not a dozen numbers to remember, but we do try to make some specific case types. We do have specific lines for certain case types where they can call directly, but you don't have to have that number regardless of what case type you have. Everybody can get through on our main hotline. I would invite you to keep up with us. Here are our social accounts. We were talking a little bit about volunteer opportunities. We have volunteer opportunities for undergraduates, law students, if you'd like to send anyone our way. Our application process for volunteers is on our website as well. We also hire law students to work on our intake line. And as I hope is evidenced by our long list of projects and counting, we like to develop fellowships and interesting projects, and I love to talk shop, so please don't hesitate to reach out. By following us, you'll see a lot of what we do in the community and throughout our service area. I really do invite you to reach out to me. Please don't hesitate to email or call me. Here is my information. Uh, this is my direct line and my email address. I would love to take some questions if there are any. Let's see. Will Texas 211 have a link to those numbers? Let me take a look on that. I know we are published in many directories. I will check on that. If you don't mind if I respond and see if our communications folks have linked us there. I think we do tend to have a pretty broad presence, but I'll double check on that. I do not know the answer offhand. I would also like to mention, I feel like I see a lot of people searching for advice on websites or community groups or Facebook. If there is ever a time where somebody isn't sure where to go, going to www.texaslawhelp.org, that is run by the nonprofit Texas Legal Services Center in connection with the other legal aids. It has really good information there. That's a great starting point rather than, trying to Google every single thing. I say Texas Law Help is an excellent place to start. Sandra, I see your hand up.
Thank you. You really touched on some phenomenal topics here, and I can see so many opportunities for helping people throughout Texas. And when you brought up expunging records, okay, a lot of young people, their cases get dismissed, and next thing you know, it the drama. They're looking to get consoled. They don't know how to cope, and part of their obstacles is what you had listed: housing, employability, and not is there some way to do we have like someone in the county that could reach out to these individuals? Because I know of one individual, it was a horrible, horrible situation, made the news and everything, got dismissed, but I I'm 65. She's not going to talk to me, and but I see her spiraling, and I really, and then the whole family, it affects the whole family.
Hmm.
Stop this. Is there places where the younger siblings and cousins can get resources, because you touched on um, victims. Well, back in the day, my roommate, she was part of DeSaves. That was back in, when everything was groundbreaking, and that was domestic abuse, sexual assault victim services, and we're talking in the 70s. And I love seeing how you have evolved and how many resources there is out there, but it seems like the people not feeling or knowing where to reach out is still.
Hmm. Yes, that point is very well taken, and I think that's really why we've tried to have our intake come through the main line, so you don't have to remember all this stuff or like this doesn't have to be this special project. We have one Trala, and anybody can do an intake through there. With the record clearing in particular, that is something that we are focused on, and with the other legal aids, what we want to do is make that information clear and accessible and kind of one-stop shop, right? For somebody with a case that has been dismissed, now that is a case type that is eligible for record clearing, would absolutely have somebody do an application. Like I mentioned, somebody to qualify for us has to meet certain eligibility, including the financial elements, but we still may be able to refer. And part of that big statewide project is how do you get the inform some people may have a case where it's simple, where they may be able to get the resources or to use the self-help packages that are available. And we're trying to make that information one stop, very accessible to be able to clear as many records as possible to remove those barriers.
Thank you.
But please do, and there are some specific expunction flyers that are being developed for that project. Um, I'd love to share those. Let me see if I can actually pull that up while we're still here.
If you you can drop in the chat if you find
Okay,
it, but if not,
perfect.
you can email it to me and I can send it out to everybody here today for
Well,
any flyers or things like that.
that's a great point. I think expunction is certainly one of those things. Why it's gotten so much attention is because it affects so many people, and we are trying to make that a much simpler process. You can get online and find a bunch of different websites, and it can be really hard to figure out where to go. The website that I mentioned, Texas Law Help, that will have you'll be able to find all of the expunction information that the legal aids are involved in starting there.
Great information. Thank you, Jackie.
Mhm.
We do have another question in the chat. As someone was asking, is there assistance for low-income pro bono divorce attorney support, not necessarily domestic violence?
So there for us, the case types that our attorneys are going to prioritize are those domestic violence cases simply because of resources. We are, and I completely understand that there is a need for cases where there isn't, and maybe is it a simple case type that you're thinking? It might be. It might be. Sometimes there are cases that where people might want to use the forms, but it's still a pretty challenging process. There are a couple of places I know that you can get assistance with that. The Texas Law Help, again, there are some attorneys that man a chat for people who are eligible, and you can ask specific questions. In this area, the Travis County Law Library has a bunch of resources and reference librarians that can assist with those. And one of the things that we are looking at is trying to do more of those cases and opening up some online intake for simpler cases where there is there might not be any children or there might be an agreement, and we're trying that in certain of our counties, not Central Texas so far. But one other resource for those is also the Volunteer Legal Services of Central Texas, vlsoct.org. People can actually get advice, go sign up for an advice clinic to speak with an attorney in this area. And you can do that online or sign up in person. And there's lots of resources in Central Texas for advice and getting the forms and getting some guidance. Lots. There's more than more than other places. In the future, we may be able to open up intake for certain types of those cases to be able to refer to either other partners or other pro bono attorneys. We just have not rolled that out in Central Texas yet.
Wow, yeah. I had no idea there were so many types of resources available. And I worked in advocacy, so this is amazing.
I feel sometimes like I'm like, well, maybe not us, but then there's so much information, so I hope it's not just all swirling swirling around there. But it's just about working here for 20 years and kind of like seeing where we all do like to work together. Most of the nonprofits, we know each other, we collaborate, we refer in between. I also want to mention the Texas Advocacy Project. They assist with assisted pro se divorces um, where there's been violence, and they also operate a hotline where somebody can get advice about the first steps in a family law case.
Jackie, I did have a question. You mentioned that family and housing law are the most requested services in Williamson County. How should nonprofits interpret this information? That feels like a very important data piece. But what can we realistically do with that as we're supporting clients from a variety of different spaces?
Right. I think that in terms of what can we do with clients, perhaps getting legal advice early or information early would be to try to prevent eviction. That's typically in the housing. What we're trying to do is keep people in their homes. One of the projects that I mentioned, the Austin Tenants Council, they offer that advice and counseling before there's a legal issue to try to get some of those issues resolved before they're looking at an eviction. I think that it's good to know for providers that this may be an issue that comes up for a lot of people, whether maybe they're seeking help from your agency or telling you that they may need some support for housing to try to uh, they may need the resources, whether they're encountering your agency for that issue or not. It's probably somewhere in the horizon when you're working with low income folks. So I think making some of those flyers accessible, I think knowing when there is a service or court, if anybody has received any papers, those deadlines are fast. Somebody really needs to get advice in that moment when they're looking at those deadlines, because if you don't get advice in the right moment, then there's no remedy, no opportunity for negotiation. I think within terms of family, whenever we do needs assessments, we are not surprised to know that people want help with housing, people want help with family law matters. I think for family law in the Central Texas area, it it really is. I think it's important to get advice, like attorney consults, and there are ways to do that free through volunteer legal services or getting on Texas Law Help. Because I think what happens there is there's so much to know. There's so much like, what do I do? And it can really make a difference just to get some actual legal advice in that moment about what people are looking at. Um, for example, I get a question a lot of the time that's, well, I won't have any claims to my house if I leave because then it'll be seen as I'm abandoning the house. And that's not really a legal concept, but people have this idea that if you leave the house, then you can't ask for anything with it, then you're losing it. And that can have implications for safety. And that's just not accurate. So I think sometimes um, what it, what people are asking a neighbor or a cousin or a friend, and they might tell them something, and they take this as this is exactly what's going to happen. And every situation is so unique that they really do need to get a legal consult. And it might not be you get an attorney, but that consult and the planning can be really, really key. I think in terms of the broader issues for both of those, like one of the things that we are focused on is we're trying to figure out how to better respond to those, use our limited resources to respond to those as well as we can.
You mentioned something just briefly, and I don't remember the context, but about policy and advocacy. Are you collecting this data and needs assessments specifically for policy and advocacy, or do you know
What
what are
we
y'all doing with that data?
what I will say what I'm doing with that, we look at our intake data monthly with our data team. We're looking at our entire service area for trends, for things that we think might be unique, or are we seeing a bunch of case types creep up in a specific county? What we are doing, what I am trying to do with that, is see where we can better match resources or maybe develop something to assist the clients. And our needs assessments are often required by our funders on with regular intervals. So we are trying to be responsive to the needs of the community in terms of, I mean, it does help us advocate, especially when we're asking for grants. We can point to this data. I think it's really important to have that information to show where we might need advocates for fellowships or hiring purposes, or just where we could use additional grant funding.
Thank you. I was just mostly curious. I appreciate that. That
Yeah,
was, yeah.
we don't get to do a ton of I think our policy and advocacy is shaped by our examples and our
Mm,
and the work that we do.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. And so what specifically is your role at Trala? I know you're an attorney. What does that look like?
Right. My role is I'm thinking sometimes when you work nonprofit, you just layer a job on top of the last job that you have. And I've sort of still done that. I still do have a caseload. I spent all that time talking about our different practice divisions. I work really closely with the leaders of those divisions to try to support the legal work, like looking at that data. Where do we need resources? Where do we need advocates? Talking about replacing the advocates, project ideas, onboarding, grant requirements and support. I'm trying to think about, I should be able to define this better, but it really does seem to be working closely with the groups and trying to support the legal work. That's how I see it. Make sure our systems are good so our advocates can focus on getting out there and doing the work, and also keeping an eye on all of the trends that we need to be focused on.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing, legal nonprofits are no different than any other nonprofit. We're
Right, you're
all,
layering, just bricklayer the jobs. Yeah.
I'm glad to know we're in good company.
That's how it is, right? That's we all know what it's like to wear the many hats and to have a plan for the week, but end up doing
None
something
of it.
else.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Well, I have my job title, but what I do doesn't really fit into what that is.
right. It's
Yeah.
more like what don't you do, I think.
Right. Yes. That's funny. Um, there, you said there are 400-ish staff, and you said about 175 attorneys. What all, I mean, outside of the fact that, like we just said, nonprofits do a little bit of everything, what does your staff do, and what does that breakup look
Right.
like?
That breakdown is the attorneys, which are the bulk of our staff. We have paralegals, legal assistants, and our admin staff.
Okay.
In some of our practice areas, public benefits and housing, our paralegals sometimes do have their own caseload.
Okay. Edith, you asked if we would get a copy of the presentation. And yes, so the training will be recorded. So that will go on our website, and then all of you will get a copy of the recording. And then I can request Jackie slides. And if she's able to share them, those will go out in an email as well.
I will absolutely do that. I was just scrolling. I'm pretty sure that I saw my fly, and I'll send that expunction flyer um, as well, so so I don't you don't have to wait while I fumble for it.
Yes, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. And just a question that's been on my mind, and you talked about going back and watching the presentation that we had on burnout several months ago. Working in nonprofit and working in legal spaces with some really heavy topics, what do you do and what does your office advocate for to mitigate burnout?
Gotcha. Uh, Always, I think, a constant conversation that we have here, right? Let me talk about some of the things that are that agency-wide we have done. Um, I think that we are very large. We offer headspace for our entire staff to be able to get a bite-sized meditation. I actually have really enjoyed that. I appreciate that they've provided that. Some of our practice groups offer their own um, wellness investigations or days where everyone comes together. I think in meetings we try to celebrate a lot of the good. In we have and wasn't always the case. This has come about in the last couple of years. We have several monthly newsletters where we're able to laud our colleagues for things that they've done, things that work or case results that we may not have known, or outreach that we may not have known about for somebody working in El Paso or in the Rio Grande Valley or in Austin. And we're able to stay more connected that way. And it's really inspiring, I think, to see what our people do. Like even putting this presentation together, I know we do such great work, and it just made so much work, and it was good for me to do that. Um, Personally, I feel like this is something that we have peaks and valleys, right? Like the work sometimes gets overwhelming. Sometimes some weeks are harder than the others. Sometimes watching the news in connection with the work is really heavy. I think ha I rely on I always have a check-in coworker that that I can soundboard with, and also sometimes workshop, is this a project that I need to be doing right now? Or am I like, where am I in terms of my meter? Where's the gas meter? And I appreciate having a colleague that I can have that conversation with. I do get inspired by a lot of our work. Some of the things that I try to, this is always evolving, but try to have certain boundaries in particular around weekends, or things that I know that I cannot do. One of my favorite speakers said, "It's okay to say no, but if you say yes, make it a real yes." And so that's kind of what I try to abide by. If I'm going to say yes to something, I want to be able to go all in and give what I have to give for that. My the things that I do outside of work are dog rescue, which is not always uplifting, but I do feel like what I had four fosters, I think, last year that have gone on to homes. And sometimes I feel like just having a it's a success story, an actual tangible thing, a life that was saved, even if there are, just like the legal services, the demand never ends. But they do say the research is that dogs lower your stress level. So I have a bunch of them. I guess they're balancing me. And I do make sure that I get my workouts in. I think for the health, the nutri trying to eat well, trying to be active, that is for me, I've got to have it or everything, my axis is totally off.
Yeah, yeah. That's something that we all in the nonprofit space struggle with is how do we find that balance and being passion-driven people. Like you don't end up in nonprofit because it pays well. It's because it's something that you care about and are passionate about. And saying no is really hard when it's a project or helping a client or a friend with something that like you have the skills for and you're passionate about and you want to. And you said that you've been doing this for a long time. Has it gotten easier to say no? Like knowing your own personal capacity, I feel like is hard for a lot of us.
I was talking about this with one of my law school mentees. That's a thing that I'm very passionate about, and I have been doing that. I was one of 8 who have done mentoring for first year law students all 10 years that they've offered this program. And my mentee was asking me about that, and I feel like each of us has a different level that we can push to, and like we find our level. And if you're inclined to push it or be really busy, I think it's easy to just keep saying yes, right? Because you think, oh well, I could do it or I want to do it. um, I think it gotten easier for me to say no. I don't know that it has gotten easier for me to say no, but I think it has gotten easier for me to figure out what types of things that I want to say yes to. I would I I have said no to things and yes to others, and I think I go through a whole process of if I were asked to do this in 2 weeks, would I be able to do that? Does it mean that I'm not going to be able to do something I've already committed to? Um, and it it feels like I think one of the things that I'm just kind of ping-ponging back to one of the things you asked me a minute ago about what does the organization do or what do I do? Starting out as a young attorney, I feel like it was there was not as much support. I think my supervisors were wonderful. They were ready to help me if I had any questions. But I think one of the things that we've tried to do as an agency is be very proactive about supporting people starting out or taking a litigation caseload. And I think by yourself, without somebody who can kind of check you on the what you're doing, if you will tend to just keep pressing the gas pedal down. That's why I think it's important to have check-ins with supervisors and colleagues before it gets to a point of like I'm drowning. And I try to talk to everyone I supervise about that, or managers that I'm talking to about people that they supervise as well. Like let's keep a good eye on that. Let's make sure that no one is just going through the cracks to where we're going to end up with a with too much and not being able to handle that. We want some support from the beginning and regular check-ins. I think that's I think that's key. It's been key for me. And I like to make sure that people that I'm working with are are right sizing their workload. Even managers, right? Managers tend to add the cases to the manager supervision. And we've got it is a constant thing that we all have to balance, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here today and for answering my questions about burnout. It's a topic that's been on my mind a lot lately and come up in lots of conversations. So I appreciate you sharing
We
your
should have a coffee.
experience.
Yes.
Yes, yes. I will reach out to you because I would love to spend more time on that.
Likewise.
If we don't have, do we have any more questions?
Oh, there was a, do you offer arbitration services? Um, Arbitration, we do not, and what I have seen mostly is mediation. And if we have a case that is appropriate for mediation where we're representing one side, we do sometimes utilize mediation, but we don't have we don't offer that to the community. You may want to check out the Central Texas Dispute Resolution Center. They do have such services.
So it's the
Thank you
Texas.
very much, Jack.
Mhm.
Yes.
I really enjoyed, thank you so much for the invite. I enjoyed being here with you all today, and I do mean it. If you'd like to reach out, or if I can connect you with one of our project directors to get more information about something that you heard today, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And so I'm going to share my screen. Maybe.
Stop
Yes, I
sharing.
am. We, so like I said, we do education monthly on the first Thursday of the month, 11:30 to 1. Our next education session will be on March 5th on storytelling in an age of misinformation with Brooke Kowinski. If you have questions or would like to register, please feel free to visit our website. We do ask that you all take just a quick minute. This is like a 3-question survey if you scan the QR code and let us know how you did today. Be nice to Jackie. She did a great job. But how was the format? How was the timing? And was this content relevant to you? And you were registered for the session, so hopefully it was. And just any feedback that would be helpful for us as we're planning sessions and inviting speakers. Otherwise, if you would like to connect with us, we do a monthly newsletter, and we are also on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. If you'd like to follow us there, we share local events in Williamson County for nonprofit events specifically. We also share grant information on upcoming relevant grants and anything else that might be helpful. So sometimes we'll share like templates or things like that. Really, our vision is supporting nonprofits in whatever way we can. So we try to do that on all of the avenues. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. It's always so good to do this and to see you and get a little bit of time. Hopefully everybody was able to eat some lunch. I saw somebody say that they were feeling hungry. Thank you for being here, and we will see you soon. Jackie, I'll reach out to you.
Awesome. Thank you.